Chico Saiki, a stunning debut goal. It's towards the back post, Saiki's there again.
It's been kept alive and it's been put in. How about that? Adjamak to seal the deal, and she does. Brighton are surely home and hose now.
New season, new club, same Fran Kirby. It's Chico Saiki, it's an outstanding third goal. Bruna Villamala off the mark for the Seagulls.
3 points and clean sheets.
Well, the Albion suffered the first real setback of the Dario Vidicic era last time out against Arsenal, but what better setting to put it right than here at the Amex. Still third in the table and a chance today to close the gap to Chelsea and City ahead of them. The Seagulls held Manchester United in this stadium in October. Can they go one better against West Ham in November? Good afternoon and welcome to live coverage of Brighton and Hove Albion versus West Ham United on My Albion TV, and another grand occasion for the Seagulls to sink their teeth into as they battle at the top of the WSL table. Before we get any further, let's have a look at the lineups for both sides, starting with West Ham United. Rhian Skinner has had a brilliant recent record against the Albion. She makes just one change from the Hammers' first victory in the WSL last time out. Lee Mengwen is unable to play against her parent club, so she departs. Kirsty Smith, who scored in this fixture last season, comes in to replace her in the back line. Vivian Asai starts up top. She is the East London club's all-time leading WSL scorer, but is suffering on a bit of a drought away from home, scoreless in 9 league away fixtures. She'll be looking to put that right here today. And for Dario Vidicic and the Seagulls, there's 2 changes from the side that lost to Arsenal at the Emirates. Maria Thorisdottir is out after suffering a calf injury in that very game. Rachel McLaughlin starts in her place. Yorlin Karabali also departs, so Marissa Oles-Schlagers returns to the 11. Keep an eye on Nikita Paris up front. She netted in the Albion's last game here at the Amex and has scored in 3 home games in a row for the Seagulls. Maybe she can make it 4 here at the Amex today. Well, the Albion winless in 3 here at the Amex. But before that, it was a happy hunting ground. They enjoyed 4 straight wins here before the start of last season, one of which came against West Ham United at the end of the 2021 campaign. A 2-0 victory over the Hammers, courtesy of Anissa Kargman and Gu Min Lee. Maybe there'll be more Amex memories to be made against West Ham United as Vicky Lasada, the skipper, meets with today's officials in the middle. The referee is Lisa Ben. She's assisted by Nicoletta Bria and Callum Park. The 4th official stood between Dario Vidicic and Rhian Skinner is Farai Hallam. As West Ham now dart onto the pitch themselves, ready to get this one underway. Today is the Seagulls' designated Rainbow Laces fixture. The flag and the colours, a symbol that all are welcome in football at this club and in all areas of society. Sussex by the Sea rings out around the Amex. So many positives from the start of this season for the Seagulls, but a real setback against Arsenal, a game in which they were second best pretty much from the outset. Dario Vidicic will know that. The assessment of the game was frank and honest from both the Australian manager and his captain, Vicky Lasada. And thus today represents a real chance to take a step back in the right direction and solidify the Albion's place in this WSL top 4, which is starting to separate themselves from the middle of the table. West Ham United will get us underway in the middle. For that though, players from both sides will take the knee to show there is no room for racism in football or anywhere else in society for that matter. Gorry stands over it for West Ham United, and we are underway at the Amex. Fired forward by Tiziak, controlled by Maisie Simons. 2 changes in the Albion 11, both not exactly like for like from the Arsenal game, so it'll be interesting to see how Dario Vidosic lines his 11 up today. Only chance, though, for Fran Kirby to get running. As Seike ahead of her, not to thread it through to Kiko Seike. Zadorsky scrambles it clear. The idea from Fran Kirby. Well, one back by Rachel McLaughlin over Assaid. Lasada. In her words, that performance at the Emirates wasn't the Seagulls. Said didn't know who that was out there, but it wasn't the Brighton and Hove Albion team she's been playing for, and certainly didn't pull any punches in her assessment. Seike can't keep that one in play, so it will be a West Ham United throw. Up the line from Denton. Say. Denton. And the ball Zadorsky particularly wanted to deal with, and as a result she's had to volley it straight back out of play. Well, initially it looks like Maisie Simons is going to be playing a bit deeper today. Rachel McLaughlin taking this throw on the right wing, and Simons just behind her around halfway. Meanwhile, here's a player down for West Ham United. It's Katrina Gorry. And she might need treatment early on. Not promising signs this for West Ham. Katrina Gorry, a hugely experienced player, Australian international, represented her country over 100 times and was brought in as captain by Rhian Skinner. But right now, she is struggling. A couple of the Albion players electing just to keep warm. This game had barely got underway. And this will be of real concern to Rhian Skinner, whose West Ham side, it's fair to say, haven't made the start to the season they would have wanted. Just the one win, that one coming against Leicester City last time out. Find themselves in that group in and around the bottom of the WSL table, where there's a few teams between 3 and 5 points. Looking to pull clear of that against the Albion. We are back underway. Gorry's off the pitch. McLaughlin has the throw. Here's Guro Bergsvand. Pattinson. And Madison Haley has found herself a starting spot in this Seagulls side of late. It's just her 3rd start of the campaign. Have to be patient and wait for those opportunities, and she'll try and seize that today as Maisie Simons sends one spinning beyond Seike. Gorry's back on the pitch. West Ham United throw. Say, good strength. Not a bad turn of pace either to lose Rachel McLaughlin. Well, still early doors, but the game rather disjointed and fractured at the moment, and no doubt a stoppage in play for Gorry not helping that. Whistle of Lisa Benn going again to give West Ham a free kick. They've taken it short to Gorry. Searching ball into the channel, there's too much on it for Pupil. And Bagley, another goal kick of her own. Did make some fantastic saves in that game against Arsenal, despite the scoreline. One right in the top corner from a Katie McCabe free kick. Simons. Lovely chipped ball into Kirby. Helped on to Pattinson. Looking back for Fran Kirby. Stolen away by Pavey. Albion throw. Schlagers trying to pop it back to Pattinson. Albion will keep possession on that far side. Start number 51 in the WSL for Poppy Pattinson. That half century against Arsenal wasn't her finest evening. Again, one of those in blue and white that will be incredibly motivated to make amends. Haley, back to Pattinson. Madison Haley again, holding off the challenge of Smith. And then breaking the challenge of Gorry. Fantastic industry from Madison Haley, and it's kept it alive for the Seagulls. Chip towards Paris. Kirby trying to turn. Pavy does enough. And then wins a free kick for her side as well, the Colombian. And there didn't seem a great deal on there for the Seagulls on that left flank. And all of a sudden, Madison Haley charged through a couple of challenges. And Nikita Paris picked it up on the left-hand side of the penalty area. Couldn't really build from there. West Ham United to get us back underway. Zadorsky. Content to find Tiziak. Smith. Lovely flick from Pavy, but it's straight to Schlagers. Bergsvand header straight out of play. West Ham throw. Both sides maybe just struggling to adjust. Be it to the early kickoff, be it to the larger pitch, bigger stadium they're playing in. Not really had too much rhythm thus far, this one. Here's Zadorsky. Shemek. Space ahead of Anouk Denton, England under-23 international. Ueki's made a run down the line, and Denton will try and slide it through to Ueki. Simons can sweep up. Clearance straight back to Denton, though. Asay to have a run at McLaughlin and hang one up towards the middle of the penalty area. And there was two hammers in there. Both Pavy and Siren lunged at it, and in the end, neither made clean contact. First real chance of the game for either side. It was a well-hit cross from the left into the penalty area. And perhaps Siren and Pavy just got in each other's way, and it deflects wide for a Sophie Bagley goal kick. Now Nikita Paris. Looking for Madison Haley, only finding Kirsty Smith. Zadorsky to Denton. Now Tiziak. West Ham with just a greater confidence about their passing since that chance a moments ago. Pavy. Zadorsky. I've been starting to apply the pressure with Kirby. Denton. Lasada for company, goes back to Zadorsky. Ueki can receive just shy of halfway, and it's popped out to Asay. That's a neat move from the Hammers. McLaughlin to be tested again. On goes Asay. Ueki back to Asay. And eventually Schlagers did enough. Gorry to Denton, still not cleared for the Seagulls. Denton in toward Pavy. Smith keeping it alive. Where will this land? Pattinson hammers away. Denton's let it bounce. Nikita Paris will make her pay. And the throwing does go the Seagulls' way eventually. It was a tidy spell for West Ham. Leanne Skinner, speaking in the week, has said the performances have been far better than the results suggest. Only fell narrowly to Tottenham Hotspur for a late error. Could have beaten Leicester City by more, it's fair to say. Lasada to Guro Bergsvand. So often the springboard for Albion attacks this season. Seike. Simons. Pattinson racing forward up the left. And on goes Poppy Pattinson. Now Madison Haley. Back to Pattinson. Could she cross from here? It was always stretching. And it only ends in a West Ham goal kick, but fantastic running from Poppy Pattinson. Haven't seen as much of that this season from the England under-23. Once she beat Pavey, she seemed to just grow in confidence and drive towards the byline. Played the 1-2 with Haley, but couldn't pick out anyone in blue and white in the middle. Things starting to open up here in Sussex. Ueki couldn't quite latch onto the end of that long ball from Zadorsky, and Bagley will roll it short to Simons. In that new role today, Maisie Simons, dropping in to form a back three when the Albion have possession. There's always been a centre mid for the Seagulls. Haley to Kirby. And Haley is trying to go for the up and under. Zadorsky's fizzed it into a save. Shemek. Zadorsky. And I say straight out of play. Brighton and Hove Albion throw. Say he wanted a free kick, didn't get one. And it's back with Rachel McLaughlin. It's perhaps a more natural right wing back for the Seagulls. They started Maria Thorisdottir. Maybe for her experience, maybe for her more defensive mindset in that position against Arsenal. A tough challenge against Caitlin Ford today. It's Rachel McLaughlin who's playing out there for the Albion. Bergsvand. Ola Schlagers. Not a great deal of room to work with, but has done well there, Ola Schlagers. Pattinson. Simons into Ola Schlagers again, rides the challenge of Gorry and wins a free kick. And the Albion are in a hurry, but too much of a hurry in the eyes of Lisa Benn. And they'll be marched back to set this one up. So it is Ola Schlagers and Lasada standing over it. It's a long way from goal, but perhaps a chance just to dink this onto the head of someone in blue and white running beyond the back line of West Ham United. If it is going to be a delivery, you'd think it would favour the left boot of Ola Schlagers. If Lasada's going to try her luck, it certainly would have to be an impressive effort. West Ham set that line around the edge of the 18-yard box. Lasada to Simons. Pavey quick to read it. Still alive with Kirby. But Asseyi can break. And that broke down for Brighton and Hove Albion. A cynical foul from McLaughlin. And allow West Ham United just to slow things down. And it's Kirby and Paris making life difficult for West Ham again. Zadorsky scooping on towards Pubel. Pavey takes a good touch into space. And McLaughlin puts an end to any further progress. Lasada, neat footwork, not once but twice. Best chance of the game thus far, coming courtesy of the away side. Driven ball in, which Pavey and Siren both threw themselves at. Ultimately Bagley untested. In fact, haven't seen either goalkeeper tested yet. 16 minutes gone still. Brighton Hove Albion 0, West Ham United 0. Here on My Albion TV. Bergsvand beautifully weighted into Seike, whose touch wasn't bad either. McLaughlin on the overlap. Seike will go on. Back to McLaughlin and blocked behind by Zadorsky. And the Albion will have the game's first corner kick. Bergsvand, Simons both trotting forward. Lasada in there. Haley a target. And Oleslagers will have a chance to deliver from this right-hand side. And no doubt all eyes on Guro Bergsvand, who's a real threat from set pieces. What sort of delivery does Marissa Oleslagers have? Albion crowding out Shemek in the West Ham United goal, who punches above the crowd. Fran Kirby. Simons. Rolled invitingly for Poppy Pattinson. Oleslagers. Pattinson. Curling one goalward, and Shemek had to get behind it. Called into action for the first time today, Shemek. And Pattinson, who doesn't score many, angled that shot in from just right of centre. Had plenty behind it, but it was straight at Shemek. West Ham breaking up the other end. Pavey. Asai. We've seen her leading the line in a number 9 position for West Ham before. Seems to be out on this left flank today. Pavey again. Gorry. Kirby hassling Gorry backwards. Zadorsky to Asai. And Rianne Skinner's side will just slow the pace down again. Albion will drop into their shape. Ueki out on that right-hand side. Pubel, can she bring this under her spell? Has done well, Pubel. And Siren allowed Pattinson to sneak back in and steal it away. Smith. Ueki, ever so deep. Not too much ahead of Zadorsky. Say, given away to Lasada. The Albion don't need a second invitation to try and get forward. Kirby rolls it round the corner. Pattinson looking for Paris, and that's a brilliant ball from Poppy Pattinson, and Paris is in at the Amex again, but Shemek's outstretched right arm denies her. A sensational through ball from Poppy Pattinson, carving West Ham open and rolling it into the path of Nikita Paris, who tried to catch out Shemek from the angle. And Shemek's acrobatics make sure it stays. Brighton and Hove Albion 0, West Ham United 0. Best chance for either side thus far, and it came from Poppy Pattinson's marvellous through ball. It's led to an Albion corner kick. Driven in towards the near post, it's Smith away. Paris can collect, scooped back into the penalty area. Away from Pavey. Pattinson, full of confidence now as she carries it over halfway. This time she's released Fran Kirby. It's another good ball from Pattinson. Kirby up against Smith. Gorry away. Siren. Tone out of play for an iron's throw. Well, already Dario Vidicic must be happy with what he's seen from his side in an attacking sense. Certainly in the last 5 minutes or so, starting to find spaces and find gaps in the channel. Still, it remains 0-0 here at the Amex. Haley. Pattinson. Back to Madison Haley. Thought about dinking it over the top. Instead, it's a neat ball into Ola Schlagers, who's looking for Nikita Paris. And Tiziak holds Paris off. The flag was up anyway against the former Lioness. One of two headline signings during the summer, Nikita Paris, alongside former international teammate Fran Kirby. And he played no small part in the sensational start the Albion have made to this WSL campaign. Won 4 of their first 6. Drew with Manchester United, one of the league's big hitters here at the Amex, only fell narrowly to defeat away at Manchester City. Currently sit above the Seagulls in the WSL table. McLaughlin looking for Ola Schlagers. Asai did well to escape a quickly closing window of space. Now Zadorsky. Pubel can't hold. Lasada to Kirby. He's allowed it to run through to Haley. Think towards Seike. McLaughlin trying to bring it down, and she's been charged into by Viviane Asai. And we're going to see the game's first booking. Viviane Asai goes into the book, French forward, for her challenge on McLaughlin. Just caught McLaughlin a little high on the ankle. And Brighton Hove Albion will have another free kick. No shortage of options on that Albion bench if Dario Vidicic does fancy a reshuffle, and a couple of them getting ready to warm up now below us. First, though, Albion with this set piece. Bergsvand, Pattinson, Kirby, Paris, Haley and Seike all forward for this. Lasada standing over it again, dinked forward by Lasada. Away from Siren. Nodded on by Lasada towards Nikita Paris. Slammed upfield by Zadorsky. McLaughlin down. Madison Haley just clipping the back of Pavi's heels, and that will be free kick for Rianne Skinner's side, who has enjoyed, as I mentioned ahead of kick-off, success against the Seagulls before. Loose ball bounces for Siren. Now space for Ueki. This looks threatening for the Hammers. Ueki up against Pattinson, drilled along the 6-yard box. Runs for Siren. Tiziak. Ueki couldn't collect, and Seike got a crucial toe in. Ola Schlagers bending one into the path of Fran Kirby, but the long legs of Tiziak can sweep up. Not entirely convincingly. It will be given as a West Ham United throw, though. Did well there. And Batiziak. Belgian international. Signed from OH Leuven in January. Or January 2023, rather. Not particularly well worked, that throw. By the away side, Albion with possession back. 25 minutes gone, still 0-0 here at the Amex, and it's fair to say it's a game that's yet to really get going. Pubel. Siren looking for Pavi, only finding Lasada. Kirby can turn again. Not too much in the way of options for Frank Kirby, who might go alone. And sends it spinning wide. Well, Shemik's goal was a sighter, nothing more for Kirby. More than capable of hitting them from there, but this time never had Shemik troubled. And it bounces wide for a West Ham goal kick. Zadorski. Essay. Denton, clear of Lasada. Pubel to her left. Ueki to her right. It's neatly into Ueki. Gori can take over. Pavi. And Ueki. And it's straight into Simons. It will run harmlessly for Sophie Bagley. Kirby, guided into Seike's path, but she can't keep it in play. Atoned for the error by stealing it back for the Seagulls. And Poppy Pattinson can wriggle free through the middle. Rachel McLaughlin bursting into space. Haley for company to her right. Madison Haley now for the Albion. Not too many options for Madison Haley, so it's back to Maisie Simons. Lasada. Kirby, lovely drag back to Rachel McLaughlin, who will bend it into the far corner and give the Seagulls the lead at the Amex again. All about the delightful flick from Fran Kirby into Rachel McLaughlin's path, who shifted it onto her left and curled it into the bottom left to make it Brighton and Hove Albion 1, West Ham United 0. The first time they've taken the lead inside this stadium since the very start of last campaign, when they went ahead against Tottenham Hotspur. And Rachel McLaughlin's cultured finish with her left foot makes it Seagulls 1, Hammers 0. That is the type of quality that Fran Kirby can bring. And that's why she was signed in a game which has, in truth, been rather flat. It needed a moment of magic, and Fran Kirby provided, guiding it into Rachel McLaughlin's path with her instep. And McLaughlin buried it in the bottom left to give Dario Vidisic's side the lead. Essay. Thrown back to Gori. What do West Ham have in the way of a response? Tiziak. Zadorski. Driven out wide to Pavi. Looking for Pubel down the line. Bergsvan did well, managing to knock Pubel off the ball, but to see it out for a throw. Half an hour gone. Brighton Hove Albion 1, West Ham United 0. And Rachel McLaughlin's first for the Seagulls. The difference thus far at the end of a fantastic team move. Zadorsky. A save. Trying to curl one into the penalty area, trying to pick out Pavi, who leapt high and ultimately leapt beyond the ball. And maybe Poppy Pattinson doing just enough to hold off the Colombian there. Fierce delivery from Asay, who drove it right towards the back of that penalty area, but Pavi couldn't rise to meet it. Guro Bergsvand. McLaughlin looking down the line, but only finding touch. Anouk Denton to take back over for West Ham. Ueki does enough to bundle it through to Pubel. Plenty of blue and white shirts between West Ham and the goal here, but Asay will try and pick a black shirt out in the penalty area. It's towards Ueki. Kirby trying to hold it up, helped on to Paris. Ueki battling with Simons. Anywhere will do for Guro Bergsvand. And Kirsty Smith has a throw to keep this pressure alive. Ueki. Zadorsky. Pavi towards Ueki. Tried the flick in field, it was cut out, but Gorry can keep it alive. And look for Pubel. Bergsvan slides in. Paris. Couldn't hold off Tiziak. Promising spell this for Skinner's side. Ueki. Past Pattinson once. And then off the feet of Kiko Seike. So West Ham have their first corner kick of the day. Asay and Pavi, the two just in conversation over what to conjure from here. 5 black shirts in the penalty area, 2 hovering with intent around the edge of the 18-yard box. It's rolled short to Gorry, cleverly done. Fired into the back though of Maisie Simons. Kirby trying to scramble away. And wins her side a free kick. Well, chances few and far between with 10 to go till half-time, but crucially, Brighton Hove Albion have taken their biggest chance. Kirby chopping it to McLaughlin, who got off the mark in some style, took a little deflection on its way through. A nice curled finish into the corner. Simons will try and pick out Haley. Zadorsky rolls it back to Shemek. Anouk Denton. No shortage of options here for Denton. Asay was looking for Ueki, who knew she was offside. Well read by Ueki. Denton can keep going. Now Ueki involved, cross towards the back post, and Pattinson calmly helps it behind. Did all she could there. Poppy Pattinson wasn't aware of where Siren was behind her, so just helped it on its way. And it will be a West Ham corner. Really smart from Ueki to allow play to bypass her, then get involved, and then put in a really dangerous looking cross into the penalty area. And Pattinson saw it behind for a Hammers corner kick. Essay to take again. Gorry still in that same spot at the edge of the 18-yard box. This time it's in towards the edge of the 6-yard box from West Ham. Zadorsky. Curled towards the back post, but curled onto the roof of Sophie Bagley's net. Brighton and Hove Albion goal kick. Still they lead 1-0. Well, this Rachel McLaughlin's first WSL season since the 2018-19 campaign with Yeovil, where she only featured 7 times. Just 2 off that tally, and already bettered her goal tally for that campaign where she didn't score. I'll be delighted with that. Certainly looked like a welcome and comfortable addition to this Brighton and Hove Albion team. Versatile, right-sided player. Simons. Trying to tempt the irons onto her. Bergsvand. Looking for Haley. Seen off the ball though by Denton, and Haley grappled for it back, and grappled a little too aggressively in the eyes of Lisa Ben, today's official. Tiziak again. Sprayed out of play. Not her best ball of the afternoon. This early WSL kickoff. First of the weekend for the Women's Super League. All fixtures today being played at the main stadiums of the partner clubs of these sides. And it's the first time that has ever happened, so a fantastic day for the league and for the women's game. Albion looking to end a winless run of 3 here at the Amex. Poppy Pattinson trying to find Ola Schlagers. Haven't said her name too much this afternoon. Lasada to Bergsvand. One touch passing as the Albion bring it over halfway. McLaughlin trying to send Haley sprinting away. Denton did well to cover. Gorry. Kirby robbing Gorry, but couldn't find Paris. Pavi, quick feet. Now Kirsty Smith, brought back into the 11 today. Kirsty Smith has not been a regular this season. In fact, this is her first start, just her 3rd appearance. Say has Ueki down the line. It's overhit though from the French forwards. Bagley. McLaughlin for Simons. the line to Lasada and towed behind. McLaughlin. Still her goal remains the difference. Was the last meaningful chance really for either side. Maybe West Ham can change that here. Pavey looking to shoot from range and got underneath it. And harmlessly over the top of Bagley's goal. Certainly looked lively. There's Pavey. Always willing to get on the ball and try and make something happen, but that time a rather tame effort from range. Simons. Haley. Wins it back for the Seagulls. Brought down by Siren. That looked an uncomfortable one for Madison Haley. Seemed to have lost the ball, but just kept on running. And clashed with Siren, towing it back. And Siren came right through Madison Haley. No advantage. Albion free kick. And Haley back to her feet. Staying fit has been a large part of why Madison Haley is playing a bigger role in the Seagull side this season. Arrived in July of 2023 after a spell in Australia and a hugely blooming reputation in the United States as a collegiate player with Stanford Cardinal. She'll take her place in the penalty area for this Albion free kick. Ola Schlagers and Lasada over it again. No surprises there. It's Ola Schlagers this time. It's well weighted towards the back of the penalty area, and Poppy Pattinson couldn't quite steer it home past Shemek. Another fantastic delivery, this time Ola Schlagers. Right over the top of that West Ham back line. Pattinson burst clear, but her header was down into the ground and ultimately tamely into the arms of Shemek. Kirsty Smith. Zadorsky. Pavey. Pubel. Holding off Lasada. What can Anouk Denton come up with? Touch slightly lets her down, but she'll keep it alive. Zadorsky, send one in from deep. Simons away. Seike, held by Kirsty Smith. He wasn't allowing the Albion to escape upfields. Have to credit the way the Seagulls have defended their penalty area in this first half. They've allowed West Ham onto them at times, into the channel, but none of the balls that have come in from wide areas have troubled the Albion, who have packed blue and white shirts in front of Sophie Bagley. Against Arsenal, they were caught so often in transition, and the Albion's midfield would be left behind the play. Today, there has been a wall of two banks in front of Sophie Bagley every time West Ham have got forward. Pattinson. Bagley. Ola Schlagers coolly done to turn in her own penalty area. And get the Seagulls moving forward with Paris. Swept out to the left. Now Fran Kirby. Say down on the deck for West Ham. Seagulls will play on. Simons to Haley. And Gorry pumps it into the stand. 2 minutes of added time coming up at the end of the first 45. Brighton Hove Albion just not quite clinical enough in that counter-attack. McLaughlin to Kirby, Lasada. It's a lovely flick into Kirby's path, who goes on, it's Fran Kirby, and it's past Shemik's goal. Well, it was almost deja vu for Brighton Hove Albion. The same deft touch we saw Kirby pull off earlier, this time from Lasada into Kirby's path, who was the beneficiary and ran on but couldn't quite catch out Shemek, and a deflection takes it past the Polish goalkeeper's post. Brighton Hove Albion corner kick right at the tail end of first half stoppage time. Driven towards the 6-yard box, away from Tiziak. Kirby. And now Simons. Simons into the penalty area. Haley dives for it. And Ueki smashes clear again. An encouraging spell of Seagull's pressure right as we approach the half-time whistle. Haley. McLaughlin. Past one challenge. Haley. Kirby, and that will do it for the first 45 here at the Amex. Not too much to report in that first half, but Brighton and Hove Albion are ahead. Rachel McLaughlin's first in blue and white, the difference. Half-time here, Brighton and Hove Albion 1, West Ham United 0.
About 15 minutes until the players return for the second half. And during today's half-time interval, we have some very special announcements, as well as some half-time entertainment. But before all that, some of this.
It takes your breath away. That's how you can tell you found the perfect vacation.
It doesn't get any bigger.
A place that opens your eyes and your spirits.
It's a Kissimmee thing.
This is your getaway, your escape. Recharging, rediscovering, reconnecting.
Welcome to Kissimmee.
However you spin it, never forget what's at the heart. It's big and it's bold, day after day.
Welcome to Kissimmee, the big, bold heart of Florida.
The big, bold heart of Florida.
Look at this room. Are we in the right room? Oh my goodness.
Dear team, just wanted to give you a heads up on the project delivery timeline. We are on track to meet the targets, but have received some curveball feedback from senior management. Imperative we get you across this. Kind regards, Colin.
Take your holiday seriously. British Airways Holidays. ATOL protected.
Very superstitious. Writings on the wall. When you believe things, but you don't understand, they take your time. Superstition ain't the way.
You gotta hand it to Night Owls. Nothing gets between you and a good time. That unmissable gig. Pre-sale tickets make it, well, unmissable. Finding a new flavor? Let your dining credit help with the bill. Skip straight to the good bit? Let's skip the queue. Unreserved passion? We've reserved seats for that.
Pick what you need and book what you got.
That's the powerful backing of American Express. Yes, as always, one of them I want to extend a special thanks to our club sponsors, American Express, Nike, and Experience Kissimmee, Florida. Time for a few announcements at half-time. Very pleased to welcome Wick Diamond Blacks under 12s to the event today. Nick and Ben want to say how proud they are of you all
Welcome back to second half coverage of Brighton and Hove Albion versus West Ham United on My Albion TV. Seagulls readying themselves for an important second half in their season, looking to bounce back from that disappointment away at Arsenal. Pre-match huddle for both sides. Ahead of this one, West Ham United looking to keep the ball rolling after getting their season underway against Leicester City, but an uneventful first half went the way of the home side. Rachel McLaughlin's goal, the difference, curling it into the bottom left from just inside the penalty area. And now 45 minutes stands between Brighton and Hove Albion and equalling their win tally from the entirety of last season. Paris back to Bergsvand, the second half underway here in the rolling hills of the Sussex Downs. Kirby, pocket of space again. Seike looking for the byline. Beyond Smith for a moment. Siren came across to help out. Pavey trying to drop the shoulder on Pattinson. Simons, who's done well, right-sided centre-back in this game. Again, not her familiar position. The injury to Maria Thorisdottir and the absence of Yorlin Karabali has given Simons an opportunity to play. Haley. Bagley. Sophie Bagley, closed down by Ueki. Gets it away in time to Vicky Lasada, the skipper. Ola Schlagers. Fired into Fran Kirby. Seike, haven't seen her run at that West Ham back line too often this afternoon. Trying to change the picture to Madison Haley. Siren. Pubel, Ueki. Back to Pubel. Lasada able to wrestle possession back, and Brighton and Hove Albion, who have been maybe a little bit more cautious today as a result of what happened at the Emirates, will slow things down. But now Seike, a good turn of pace into the penalty area and fantastic covering from Tiziak, who left no doubt with her clearance. Pattinson with the resulting throw. And a bright start this by the Albion. Ola Schlagers. Lasada. Already there had been a foul on Marissa Ola Schlagers. Happened away from the ball. Albion will have a free kick in a promising position. So Lasada and Simon stand over it. Maisie Simons has produced free kick magic at the Amex before. It was from this very position, perhaps even further to the touchline, that Simons whipped one right into the top corner as a youngster against Leicester City here at the Amex to give the Seagulls a 1-0 lead. And then against Everton last year, she had a free kick which crashed off the crossbar, bounced back for Tatiana Pinto to convert. Ola Schlagers joining in, but I'd be surprised if this is anyone but Maisie Simons to take. Can lightning strike twice for the Seagulls? Bouncing forward for Maisie Simons, an overhead kick from Nikita Paris. I'm not sure that's quite how Simons intended to hit that. And it struck the wall and bounced up for Nikita Paris, who showed fantastic reactions with the overhead kick to try and beat Shemek. Poppy Pattinson. All Seagulls in these opening 3 minutes. Kirby. Seike with her back to goal. Smith really making life difficult for Kiko Seike. Ola Schlagers. Kirby. Siren blocks it. Ola Schlagers up against Pavy. And Kirby has just gone down there as she's tapped that out of play. Shuffling back to her feet. West Ham throw. Kirsty Smith to take. Tiziak to Ueki. Lovely touch round the corner. And it's over here. And Bagley can come out and sweep up. Haley steals in. Denton wins it right back for the Hammers. It's scrappy, but West Ham are bringing it forward. Pavy. Beyond McLaughlin. Ueki seen off it by Kirby. And Simons smashing long. Just feel there's been a lack of tempo, a lack of conviction about West Ham when they've come forward. Got in good areas, have certainly found space out wide, but have maybe dawdled on the ball slightly in the final third. That's allowed blue and white shirts to get back. Siren here though. Pavy. Pupil. Asai. First chance for her in this second half. It's Viviane Asai. Pavy trying to latch onto the loose ball. Ola Schlagers leading the break. Fortuitously falls to Kirby. Slowed down by Poppy Pattinson. Nominated for Player of the Year a couple of seasons ago, Poppy Pattinson. Wasn't quite able to recreate that form last season. Has started this season well though. A couple of assists in the opening 2 games. She'll stand over this Seagulls throw on the left. Seike will do battle with Kirsty Smith again. That's been a fascinating watch. Pattinson. Cleverly done by Asai. Still down by that corner flag. And given to Fran Kirby. Ola Schlagers. Trying to thread one through to Seike. Only lands in the arms of Shemek. Good challenge by Madison Haley. It's left Denton in a heap. Zadorsky looks long. Ueki was the target. It ends with Lasada, but there has been a knock on Rachel McLaughlin on the far side, so play will stop again. It's been a far more free-flowing start to the second half than we saw in the first, which was bitty and disjointed. That the first real stoppage. To check on Rachel McLaughlin. Will be an uncontested drop ball to get us back underway. Just joining us on My Albion TV. Brighton have Albion 1, West Ham United 0. Rachel McLaughlin's goal, the difference in this one. Neither side have gone particularly close since. Bagley. Pattinson racing forward. Trying to find Kirby over halfway. Asai takes over for West Ham. Gorry. Pupil wanted it in behind. The angle was tight, so Gorry's gone wide to Smith. Pupil. Gorry. Into Ueki, who heads it straight into the arms of Sophie Bagley. The best move of the game for West Ham United. Slick passing in the final third. Smith, Gorry, and Siren all involved. And it was hung up towards Ueki, who stretched her neck muscles to try and get over the top of that, but headed it up and into the arms of Sophie Bagley. Seike did well to help it on to Fran Kirby, and Seike's continued her run, and you could see what Kirby was going for. Tiziak wins West Ham a throw. This going to recent form between these two so far. Brighton and Hove Albion have won 6 of their last 8 versus West Ham United. They've won 8 games in the WSL, or 7 games rather in the WSL versus the Hammers, and is more than their tally against any other opponent in the English top flight. They've won 8 against West Ham in all competitions. And on by Pupil. Simons undersold that ball to Bergsvand. Ueki stole in. Needs support here. Might have it in the form of Pupil. Pavi wants it on the far side, and Ueki took far too long. That was a chance. Meanwhile, Zadorsky will see yellow for her charge into the back of Nikita Paris. But West Ham United may live to regret that failed counter-attack. Ueki stealing the ball off Simons. And as she ran forward with Pavi to her left and Pupil to her right, took too long to decide on a pass, and the Albion stole it back. Zadorsky into the book. And we're back underway. Simons, Haley. Thrown into McLaughlin, thrown too forcefully by Madison Haley. Launched that forward. And even the speedy Rachel McLaughlin couldn't keep it in play. You wonder when or if the changes will come for Rhiann Skinner, experienced coach. Arrived at West Ham after 2.5 years with Tottenham Hotspur, where she led Spurs, who haven't had a great history in the women's game, to the top 5 of the WSL in the 21-22 campaign. As Pavi unconventionally gifts the ball back to McLaughlin. Lasada. Looking for McLaughlin again, who, as I mentioned, is not short of pace. Seen out by Denton. There's 3 warming up for Brighton and Hove Albion. And Ajimang, Chankovic and Bruna Villamala. Given away by Zadorsky. Haley can take over. Seike can strike, but it bounced just in front of the winger. And in the end, smashed well over the top of the crossbar. West Ham careless, Brighton and Hove Albion wasteful. Seike rushed the effort. And will only end in a West Ham goal kick. Now Gorry. Powerful run through the middle. Pupil. Siren. Essay to cross again. Ueki waiting, nodding down, and Pupil sends it over the top from just 2 yards. A golden chance goes a-begging. It really should be 1-1 at the Amex. Essay puts in yet another good delivery, Ueki rises highest, nods it across the face of goal, and Pupil, well, not one she'll want to watch back. Brighton and Hove Albion getting away with one and still holding on to that 1-goal advantage. That is the chance Rhian Skinner's side have been crying out for. Every ball they've put in thus far seems to have been met by a blue and white shirt. This time they pick out Ueki, who's more of a threat in the air than her frame suggests, and had the presence of mind to head it back across the face of goal, and Pupil sends it over the top. And now Brighton and Hove Albion will break the other way. McLaughlin, 3 to aim for. It's Paris, it's Seiki and Kirby. It's picked out by Seiki, and Seiki has guided it into the bottom left, and the Albion have two. From a West Ham chance at one end to a Brighton and Hove Albion goal at the other. McLaughlin involved again. Took her time, rolled it across to Seiki, and Seiki does just enough to see it trickle into the bottom left. Not the most powerful finish you'll see this season, but it had the placement to beat Shemek. Kiko Seiki has her 4th in Albion colours, and Brighton and Hove Albion have their 2nd at the Amex. Bagley. Now can we really see Dario Vidisic's side strut their stuff? As I mentioned, it had been a more conservative performance, but with that 2-goal cushion, you might see them express themselves a little more. The fine margins of football on display in the space of 30 seconds there from Pupil's near miss to Kiko Seiki's trickling finish. It's just about made its way over the goal line. Games hinge on moments, and what a moment that was for Brighton and Hove Albion. Simons took slightly too long, but Nikita Paris is back on it. McLaughlin chopping in field, looking for Paris. Gorry trying to sweep up, and Gorry has gone down. It didn't look like there was a great deal of contact there from Paris, and I think Paris is making that point to Gorry. She picks herself up off the deck. It was given as a free kick by the referee Lisa Ben. You can see that Paris wasn't too impressed with Katrina Gorry. Pavi. Tiziak back to Shemek. On a Schlagers. Just stumbled, and that allowed Siren to steal in. Holds off Lasada. Finds Pavi in the penalty area. Siren and Gorry, and clangs the crossbar. Lands to Ueki, whose touch was heavy. What a hit that was from Katrina Gorry. Rifled onto the crossbar of Sophie Bagley. And Ueki couldn't settle it in the penalty area. Pavi again. Gorry will have another go. It's well hit again, and it's in. And West Ham have one back. Denied by the crossbar moments ago. There was no stopping Katrina Gorry's strike that time. And via a deflection from Guro Bergsvan, it's beyond Bagley and in. Game on again for West Ham. It's Brighton and Hove Albion 2, West Ham United 1. And it's Katrina Gorry on the score sheet. A second half which has come to life after a rather tepid first 45. West Ham have given the Seagulls something to think about. All seemed to be going Brighton and Hove Albion's way when they found that second goal. Pattinson to Kirby. Down the line looking for Seiko. Smith to take the throw. Tiziak. Gorry. Now Ueki. Smith looking for the run of Asai, and Pattinson's seemed to have brought Asai down. The free kick goes Brighton and Hove Albion's way. The Seagulls take it quickly. Now Kirby, Seike. Kirby's progress halted by Smith. It's starting to get a little bit chippy, a little bit feisty. Something for Lisa Venn to keep an eye on. Poppy Pattinson. Not enough space to try and create anything on this left flank. Pattinson, brilliant throw into Seike. Seike was looking for Haley, only found the arms of Shemek. Hammers will try and counter with Ueki. Zadorski. Tiziak took a heavy touch, got away with it. Gorry gets away with one as well. Guro Bergsvand. Approaching the 70-minute mark here on My Albion TV. It's Brighton and Hove Albion 2, West Ham United 1. After a second half which has really come alive. Maisie Simons. To our England under-23 teammate Pattinson. Seike, risky ball. Serin gets it back for West Ham. Ueki looking for Pavi, and she's picked out Pavi well. Pavi in behind, Bagley saves from close range. Might have been a handball in the build-up anyway. Bagley didn't know that, and the whistle never went. West Ham coming forward again. Flash towards Bagley, and she's there to meet it again. Ueki's ball to Manuela Pavi was fantastic, and Pavi took it once on the chest. It did seem to bounce up and strike an outstretched right arm. She continued sprinting towards goal, and Bagley made herself big and denied the Colombian and denied West Ham an equaliser. Gorry has robbed Lasada. Gorry again from range, and she's found the back of the net again, and West Ham are level. Katrina Gorry with two fine finishes, and it's back to where we started at the Amex. Brighton and Hove Albion 2, West Ham United 2. And in what feels like the blink of an eye, Katrina Gorry has restored parity. She's struck the bar, she's beaten Bagley once, and another fierce effort from Katrina Gorry has got past Bagley again. lined it up from 25 yards and lashed it with the outside of her right. Bagley did get a hand to it, but it had too much behind it. Seike looking to respond again for the Seagulls. Gorry was sliding in, but has hurt herself in the process. Kiko Seike towards Paris, might run for Haley. Zadorsky hooks clear. And Gorry down on the deck, so Lisa Ben will come over and tend to the Australian international. Well, she's willed West Ham back in this game at 2-0. They looked rather out of sight, the East London club. And she stole it back off Lasada and drove her side into the final third before unleashing a fierce hit towards the bottom right of Bagley's goal. Summoning all that experience, Gorry. Represented Australia at 7 major tournaments. The West Ham skipper. And the chance for Dario Vidicic to get some instructions into his side. Maybe prepare some substitutions. We can see a couple of subs warming up for the Albion. One of them is Michelle Adjimang. Also looks like Jelena Cankovic is stripped and ready. And this doesn't look too good for Gorry, whose sliding tackle might have left her worse off. Still being treated. The sides are ready to get back underway. West Ham haven't yet ready to substitute of their own, but it does look like almost certainly now we're going to see Adjimang and Cankovic for the Seagulls. Another look at that incident. Gorry steaming across, full of life, full of energy after those 2 goals, and maybe just landed awkwardly on her shoulder or on her side in doing so, and that's why she's still down at the moment. And Gorry is needing to be helped towards the sideline, and it does look like the collarbone or the shoulder area that the Australian is struggling with. Rhiann Skinner also taking her chance to bellow instructions at those around her. They are galvanised, they are full of fight. I mentioned her history against the Albion, won each of her last 4 versus Brighton and Hove Albion without conceding. And she was, of course, the manager in charge of Tottenham when they beat the Seagulls 8-0 at Broadfield. Lasada makes way for the Albion. It's Cankovic that's coming on. And we saw that Adjimang was out and warming up. And it will be Madison Haley to make way for Adjimang. So Adjimang on for Haley and Lasada off for Cankovic. Double switch for the Seagulls and 1 for West Ham. Dagny Brynäs-Dotter coming on for Katrina Gorry. Well, before Gorry's arrival, Dagny Brynäs-Dotter was the West Ham captain anyway, and a natural central midfielder, so that is a like-for-like switch for West Ham, but they will be incredibly frustrated to lose the player that has just brought them back into this game almost single-handedly. Seike switching out to the right wing and looking for McLaughlin. Shankovic, McLaughlin. Guro Bergsvand. To Poppy Pattinson. Back to Bergsvand. Pattinson looking to send Adjumang off and running for the first time in this second half. It's through to Shemek though. Quarter of an hour left to play. Brighton and Hove Albion 2, West Ham United 2. Zadorsky. Does very well to find Ueki, and that's not bad either. Pavy up against McLaughlin. A box of tricks today, Manuela Pavy. And she's won her side a free kick, perhaps rather softly. It's also going to be a yellow card for Chankovic just after coming off the bench. So Chankovic into the book. What seemed a rather innocuous incident with Pavy, but it will be a West Ham free kick. So, Asai, whose deliveries have caused problems in this second half at least, stands over this. Promising position for the Hammers. No shortage of black shirts to aim for, and now the added target of Dagny Brynäs-Dotter in there. In from Asai, in towards Tiziak, who sends it onto the roof of the net. Bagley with a goal kick. Simons. Bergsvand. Poppy Pattinson. Maybe can open up on her left. But checks back inside. Just seems to have rattled the Seagulls slightly. That quick fire double. The rhythm they were enjoying has left them. Simons trying to send Seike away. It's a wonderful ball, and the flag will halt any further Albion progress. Paris tucks it into the empty net anyway. But the decision offside. Simons looked up, angled that through, and fizzed it into Seike's path. And Seike had just started a half step early. It's all it takes. Seen moments of quality already. Fran Kirby's flick. Rachel McLaughlin's cross. Here's Pavy. No room to manoeuvre. Brighton and Hove Albion throw. Flag came up, but came up late. It's the reason for the West Ham shouts. Guro Bergsvand. Now with the armband fastened to her right bicep. Bergsvand, driven to the feet of Adjumang, kills it dead with the first touch, and cuts in field Michelle Adjumang, past Kirsty Smith, on goes Adjumang, looking for the cross, and Siren had to come back and cover. Seike wanted it at the back post, and Adjumang couldn't quite get the cross off in time. We saw the impact Michelle Adjumang had coming off the bench against Manchester United. Red Devils couldn't live with her. Can she have similar impact against West Ham in this one? Simons with a corner kick. Again, the blue and white shirts fill that 6-yard box and try and crowd out Shemek. In from Simons towards Ajimang. Kirby. McLaughlin. Chankovic trying to help it on. Zadorsky. Rolled out to Asei. Pupil's made a clever run, and Asei was very close to picking Pupil out. Could hear the Swiss forward screaming for it. She burst through midfield. Asei not too far away. Now Chankovic. Summer signing from Chelsea. McLaughlin. Seike. No change out of Denton this time, or is there? Seike's kept going. Ola Schlagers. Nikita Paris. He's trying to find Seike, who came from an offside position. And Shemek will have a chance to get us restarted. This is a Hammers side who have been short of confidence on the road. Won just one of their last 14 away games in the WSL, drawing 3 of those, losing the other 10. And they are on a run, confirmed today, of 15 away games without a clean sheet, equaling the longest ever in the top flight, and back to 2020. McLaughlin to Chankovic. Paris helping it into Seike's path. It's a neat move. Kirby might find a finish at the end of it. It's Fran Kirby. It's 3-2 Brighton Hove Albion. The player for the big stage. Fran Kirby puts the Seagulls ahead again. More Amex memories for the Albion's Lioness. A third of the season in the WSL, a fourth in all competitions, and it came at the end of a free-flowing Seagulls move. Albion throw on the right-hand side, McLaughlin to Paris, who just helped it on to Seike. Kirby arriving late, shifted it onto her right, and curled it off the post and in to make it Brighton and Hove Albion 3, West Ham United 2. And the Hammers only have 8 minutes to respond. Pattinson toward Ajimang. Tiziak gets there first. Kirby manages to help it up the line. Play will stop as Ajimang is down. Well, you always knew Fran Kirby might have her say in these 2 Amex fixtures. She did, of course, get 3 assists against Norway when Euro 2022 came to England, and there's a game played at the Amex. And that memorable 8-0 win for England. She's had her say here today as well. Ola Schlagers looking for Paris. Back to Ola Schlagers, out to Kirby. Poppy Pattinson, Kirby again. Bergsvans over Smith's head. Kirby with a throw. All about how the Seagulls manage. The last 7 minutes plus stoppage time now. West Ham have shown they can score from anywhere. Brighton and Hove Albion need to be switched on. Could be more goals in this game for them yet, though. Michelle Ajimang. Marvellous footwork. Pattinson. Trying to flick it inventively back to Kirby. It's out of play. Shemek to take the goal kick. Pavey. Straight to Paris. Brenner's daughter sees it cannon back off her thigh. McLaughlin. Shankovic. Still going is Rachel McLaughlin. And wins the Albion a corner kick. Another promising performance from Rachel McLaughlin. Wasn't perhaps the most talked about or well-reported signing of the summer for the Seagulls, but she certainly played a huge part in this bright start to the campaign. Here's Chankovic collecting the corner short. Fran Kirby. And the Schlagers towards Bergsvand. Say nods on. Seike. Chankovic. Ajimang screaming for it. It's in towards Paris. Shemek punches. Offside flag up. Shemek clearing out everyone in front of her to punch that clear. Didn't matter anyway. Five minutes plus stoppages left to play. What a second half it's been. Ueki. Siren. Smith has to go back to Tiziak under pressure, which the Albion are still applying here late on. Asai. Ola Schlagers wasn't favourite to that ball, but she got there anyway. Fantastic running from Ola Schlagers, who's really kept the Seagulls ticking in midfield. And Simon's driven ball wide is cut out by Lisa Ben. Bergsvand to Ajimang. Smith has missed it. Ajimang goes on, but is given as a West Ham free kick. Ajimang just tugging Smith back. Shemek was behind the shot anyway. McLaughlin. Now Chankovic. She's been lively. Drops the shoulder pass, Ueki. One thing that will no doubt please Daria Vidicic today is the response to adversity. Seagulls took the lead, seemed to be in control, were pegged back and have responded fantastically. Ajimang can't find Paris. Tiziak to Zadorsky. Still work to do though. Pavey. Chankovic. Ola Schlagers. This is a long, controlled spell of Seagulls' possession. If they can keep this going, they should be able to see this one out. Seike might have other ideas though. Good challenge by Denton. Seike will allow it to trickle out for a corner kick. Marissa Ola Schlagers will take. Fran Kirby looking short. Ajimang, Paris, Seike and Bergsvand in the penalty area. And every Irons player back defending this. What does Ola Schlagers have in the way of a delivery? It's curled towards the near post. Smith able to see it away, and Pavey hacking long. Brighton and Hove Albion throw. And no surprise that they're taking their time and strolling over to take this. Kirby. Ueki holding it up. Maybe another chance for West Ham. Asai bouncing awkwardly for Pattinson. And Bergsvan's there to bail out Pattinson and Simons, who weren't quite sure. 5 minutes of added time coming up. Albion chasing a 5th win of the season. Emma Harries is ready to come on for West Ham. She has history against the Seagulls. Bergsvan toward Paris. Fouled by Brynner's daughter. Play will stop again. Siren sends it back to Pattinson so she can take. As it stands, the Seagulls still 3rd in the WSL. Arsenal winning, but that matters not. All the while, it remains Brighton and Hove Albion 3, West Ham 2 here. Substitutions for West Ham being made now. Pavy off. Emma Harries on. And we're also going to see Shannon Cook on, and it looks like Kirsty Smith is going to be the player to make way. That is now confirmed. So Cook on and Smith off. Emma Harries, who has hurt the Seagulls, not for West Ham, but for Reading when they were a WSL side. Had 4 in 3 league games versus Brighton and Hove Albion before joining West Ham. Didn't score in either of their games against the Seagulls last year, though. Here's Brynner's daughter. Asai looking for Harries. It's behind for a Sophie Bagley goal kick. Bagley being ordered just to get on with it by Lisa Ben. A nervous silence hanging around the Amex. All the talk in the week has been about a response and responding in the right way to that 5-0 defeat. They're 3 minutes away from doing so. Harries. Pubel. Now Brynner's daughter. Shemek will send it long. Harry's misjudging it again. And Poppy Pattinson will just have a delay before taking this throw, because we're going to see the return of Paulina Bremer for Nikita Paris, who has put in a shift for the Seagulls again. And Paulina Bremer, after getting injured against Crystal Palace in that away fixture, is back on for the Seagulls, and she'll lead the line with Seke to her right and Ajimang to her left, and Paris's race is run. Pattinson looking for Ajimang, turning past Shannon Cook. And Albion have one possession, whether it's a throw or a free kick, yet to confirm. Didn't see the assistant's flag go up. It will be a free kick for Brighton and Hove Albion. Pattinson. Chankovic. Ueke trying to make life difficult for Bergsvan. Harries closes down Poppy Pattinson. In fact, it was Pubel that smashed it into touch. Ajimang. Brighton Hove Albion with a throw. Shannon Cook not happy. Pattinson to Ajimang. Such a useful player to have in scenarios like this, Michelle Ajimang. The ball just sticks to her. Paulina Bremer, Poppy Pattinson. Ajimang again, experience beyond her years, just keeping possession. But now it's given away by Pattinson. Shannon Cook, Ueke, Maybe time for one more charge forward for the Hammers. Striding forward on the left-hand side is Denton. Anouk Denton looking for the byline, looking for Harries. And it comes off Harries and behind for a goal kick. Alarm bells were ringing there for the Seagulls. West Ham had numbers forward and space ahead of them. Ueki to Denton, and perhaps Denton delayed the ball in field just too long. And Harries couldn't divert it goalward. Into the last few moments of stoppage time. The 95 we were supposed to have been and gone. Bagley to send it forward, perhaps for the last time for Brighton and Hove Albion. Long from Bagley, still we play on at the Amex. Ajimang. Forward from Cook. Ola Schlagers. Cook to take the throw. Dario Vidicic wants the full-time whistle. He's not going to get it yet. Siren. Chance to shoot perhaps for Denton. And it's curled into Bagley's arms. Into the safety of Bagley's arms. And that will do it at the Amex. The Seagulls win, equalling their victories tally for the entirety of last season. Back to winning ways. And Fran Kirby's late strike won it for the Albion. It finishes here. Brighton and Hove Albion 3, West Ham United 2.